Welcome to the next episode of the podcast series Life on Tatami, a podcast series about martial arts and the lifestyle. Thank you for listening to us. You can let us know what you think on our social media or at our email podcast@lifeontatami.sk. Thank you and have a nice day. Today's episode will be a different one, or not a different but a special one, not in a good sense. I originally recorded this last week. I wanted to get into the topic of martial arts frauds and fakes and con artists and cultists and whatever, and what kind of sources of information I get. I wanted to recommend you some sites or YouTube channels. I still do, and I still will, but I wanted to approach this from a different angle. I wanted to demonstrate it on people who are more of outright frauds, and most of the population will outright know that okay, this is a problematic martial art style or meta martial art style, fake master or something like that. But not today. And today I'll start from a different angle, which I think is more important now. Apart from doing this podcast and listening to tons of other podcasts, I also, of course, when I have the time, I watch YouTube videos, and I follow several channels regarding martial arts, and one of those is the McDojo Life. It's a YouTube channel dedicated to debunking and calling out martial arts frauds, fakes, con artists. And usually what they do is that they either break down a video that they dig up somewhere on the internet of an outright, fraud, people proclaiming they have mystical powers or whatever. But sometimes they do a video on martial arts news, or McDojo News, how they call it. And it's from interesting things from the martial arts world. It might be about a school, had some kind of issues with transparency, or with the instructor. There had been some information about more interesting, topics, which had been not outright bad or trying to debunk someone, but just to mention. And I would like to mention that also the McDojo Life channel or group, association, I don't know what they are, but group, let's say, they're preparing a documentary series on martial arts frauds and cult-like behavior and fakes and con artists in the USA. Just wanted to put this out there. I was talking about the McDojoNews part, where they usually come out with something that they found on the internet, an article, or they had been following some topic. Unfortunately, what happened was that there was this incident in Taiwan a month back, or a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so back, when it was brought to my attention through this channel that a young boy, a 7-year-old boy, got severely injured during his first judo class. And what happened was that his uncle took him to this judo class, and the boy, it was his first class ever, and boy was apparently thrown around 27 times by older students and by the instructor as well. Even though the boy cried and wanted to stop, the instructor threw him anyway. And what happened was that the boy went unconscious, and by the reporting, what I found, the instructor even claimed that the boy's faking. Unfortunately, the boy needed to be hospitalized in coma, and last week it was brought to my attention that the boy died after his life support was shut down. It was a shock to me. Unfortunately, it wasn't something that never happened before, but it was a shock to me because of two things. One, there was a video of the boy being thrown, very graphic video, And the second thing was that it didn't happen somewhere in the back alley, quasi dojo, or a gym that had been, set up by someone who's teaching some kind of fake martial art, or non-existing, or his own system. But this happened during a class of judo, which is well established, known martial art and sport, and people, when they choose for their kids, it's one of the good choices they might have, because it was well established. It is well established. It is well known. There are well known good kids classes all around the world, competitions, whatever. So it's a good package. Judo is a good choice from my end. Judo, karate, whatever it is suitable for children. Yeah, outright yes, yes. It's good. It's really good for kids. So this was the second thing that was shocking for me, to that this didn't happen somewhere on a really obscure something, that this happened on a judo class, and in judo dojo. And apparently the instructor, I don't know, I've seen reports that he wasn't licensed. I don't know. He wore a black belt. Doesn't matter. He failed his duty. He failed as a human being. He failed as a trainer, and a young boy died. As far as I know, the local authorities, law enforcement, press charges. So we might see some kind of justice, which will never be enough, because a child died, unfortunately. And what stirred up in me particularly was that, as I said before, I wanted to do this from the a side of mystics and martial arts fraud, which could be identified, outright, from their websites, from their certification, or being members of secret societies, whatever. But there is another group of martial artists that are more nefarious, I would say, and those people are either claiming that they are martial artists in a well-established martial art, or a real martial art, or they're even certified. They might be licensed, they might be certified, but they are failing as instructors, and someone is getting hurt, because someone will get hurt. And in any case, when you are under the influence and tutelage of fake martial artists, either you are going to get hurt like the boy did, even though you might not end up in hospital. You might have some kind of injuries, you might have persisting injuries, or you might be conned out of your money, thousands of dollars, or whatever currency you are using, but it's grifters. And what might happen is that someone else might get hurt, or you might get a false sense of security and get hurt in a real life situation, when your apparent mystical powers don't work, or something like that. But this nefariousness is embedded in that the parents, in this particular case, the parents and the boy's uncle as well, they chose this venue, they chose this dojo, they chose this classes, because they believed that judo is right for the boy, and that he will be okay. And apparently during the class itself, the boy was thrown by two older students, and anyone who ever did a martial art where throwing was a part of it, and or any other martial art for that matter, but especially with throwing, you will know one thing, and that is that you need to learn how to fall, how to break falls, how to fall safely, how to avoid injuries, and how to trust your partner, and your partner needs to trust you. So it's this is a process which is unsuitable for a kid attending his first class ever, maybe even first week. You feel you need to get a feeling for the falling. You need to get into it from the basics from rolls and break falls on your own to basically going through simple throwing techniques slowly and under supervision, and in order to gain confidence, in order to gain the technique, in order to gain safety, in order to protect your health and be able to train the next day. So this was one of the failures that happened there, was that a young boy, first class ever, was paired with older students and they performed these techniques on him and the boy didn't know how to fall. And now if you imagine it, you've never fallen in your life professionally from a technique. And someone grabs you, judo guy, wrestler, whoever, and they just slam you. And it might be on mats, tatami, whatever, surface that will break the fall, and you might not have the feeling that you have gotten hurt. But imagine the feeling of falling and not knowing what to do, and it's scary, and it must have been scary for the young boy, 100 times over, because he was pushed by the instructor to do it again, and apparently when the boy cried, the instructor threw the boy himself. So what kind of lesson can we take from this? First of all, is to make sure that you know who are you going to train with. Transparency is the key here. Is the class, school, gym, dojo, studio, whatever, transparently putting out the information about the instructor and instructors as well, because sometimes it might happen that you have a head instructor and the head instructor might have assistant instructors, and these assistant instructors might take over kids classes or certain classes somewhere. Now, if they do not have this kind of things listed, head instructor or assistant instructors, it's a red flag. Ask them about this. They might, not be able to perform certain tasks with their website, or they might not be tech savvy, whatever. Ask them about this. Make sure that you know who are you or your kid training with, meaning who's leading the class, what's their level, what's their experience, what their license or certification. Can they teach kids? Do they know how to teach kids, or do they know how to teach martial art altogether? And make sure that you are, you know who are you going to train with, who's going to lead the class. And if they have this kind of information posted, look at what kind of certification they have, the number of certification. I always use one example. If you have, for example, a 35-year-old instructor there, and the 35-year-old instructor tells you that he has been training martial arts for 30 years, it might be true. In those years that he had been training, or they had been training, do they have any kind of valid experience with teaching, or do they have teacher's license issued by some kind of organization or someone else, not self-proclaimed instructor, but someone else gave him go ahead, or did they have some kind of official training in this field? Or you can imagine, this is what you should be, looking for, no matter how many years the instructors have under their belts. If it's 30 years of active martial arts experience, or 10 or 5, doesn't matter. Always go for their certification. Now, the second example that I always use is the same guy. So he's 35 years old. He might have been training, 10, 15 years, but he has listed 15 certification master level licenses and whatever, and this is a huge red flag. Like, okay, how could this guy in 15 years get so many certifications, so many things under his belt? It might be true. I'm not saying that it's not, but be careful about these kind of things, because it might be something fraudulent or untrue. Now, the transparency is key, as I say, in these kind of things, because you should be able to get to know the instructor and their background right away from the first glance. This should be something that a class, school, dojo is putting out there on their website or social media websites, whatever form or shape. They should be able to back this, back this up by something on their end, meaning certification from an organization, or at least something, some license, or some kind of paperwork. They could be able to present to you right away. I have my own license. I have license to teach. I renew this license every couple of years by by the rules that the International Federation established. I have my black belt certification. I have it all at home. I have it in paper form. So anyone who challenges me, I can prove it to him. Okay, look, here it is. Here you have the serial number. Here you have the official certification, and the last thing that I can do is to refer that people who challenge me to the federation itself. So you can look up, and you should be able to look up the guy who's teaching and proclaiming that, yeah, I'm part of this world judo federation or international jiu-jitsu federation, or whatever the organization is. If they're proclaiming that they are part of it, you should be able to trace this information. And if it's not visible, ask the organization, is this guy truly a member? Is he an instructor under you? Did you certify them? And you might get back some kind of information, confirmation. Yeah, is an instructor. So try to look for information about the instructor. And the best thing that you can do is to try to look at before you go to the training, before you even go and see the training. And the second best thing is to actually go and see the training itself. You might not participate in it. They should be willing to let you sit on it and watch. And especially if you are considering classes for your kid, watch how the training is conducted, watch how the dynamic is between the instructor and students, watch how kind of safety precautions they are taking. Do they, when they have sparring, do they spar full force, or do they spar controlled in some way? Do they use some kind of gear? Do they have enough room? Do they have safe room? Do they have mats when they perform throws? Does the instructor pair the students logically, meaning that for some throwing or more advanced techniques, they are not putting a new guy with the most experienced one, just throw him. Do the instructors pay attention to their students? Do they pay attention to what they do, how they do it, how they conduct themselves? Do you have an overall understanding of how the training is conducted, what's expected out of you? And of course, if you are a parent and you have a kid on a training, go there with them, sit there. You might not want to sit there, because you have other things to do. You might want to use this time as some place to put your kid to be under some kind of supervision. But do not do this automatically. Sit there for a training or two. Sit there a couple of times a week, or a couple of times a month at least, to make sure that your kid is in safe hands, that nothing is going to happen to your child, and make sure that who is going to train them. And with transparency, I would like to close this on another matter as well. One thing is to know who's training you, where you train, how you train. The other thing is how you pay for it, because sometimes it happens that you might have, a coupon or something, or you might find a flyer like free training, and then you come there and you find out that the training itself is free, but you have to pay the gear from them, you have to buy gear from them, you have to pay membership fees, you have to pay whatever other hidden payments all over the year, and in the end you paid much more than you would have somewhere that proclaimed transparently, like, we have, I don't know, $20 a month for training, then you have $50 a year for membership, and then we have our own gear, which you might buy from us at this and this price, or you might and might not buy it from us, or we have discounted, whatever. So transparency is a key in this as well. For example, say if I use myself an example here, I have my own website where I have the information about what we teach, how we teach, what's the classes, information about where we train, etc. Now the second thing is you have their information about me and my instructors as well. So I am there as an head instructor. I do not have there my co-instructor, unfortunately, yet, because he didn't still submit his information I wanted from him. This is my fault that I didn't follow this through. It's true. But about me, you have there all the information that I have license, I have this kind of experience, and there is this link to the federation website where I'm listed as instructor as well. I have their information about my master, so and his master for the matter, as a part of the lineage, so you can find it, look it up as well. You have their information about where we train and when we train. I do not usually put information about payment on my website, but every time a new student comes or someone calls me to consult, I wanted to come, how it's going on, I always tell them, we have this kind of payments on monthly basis. If you want to get certified by me, to get your belt test, you pay membership fee. If you don't want to get tested, you just want to train, it's your thing, you don't have to pay the membership fee, but you are not a member then. So there are no perks for you, let's say some kind of perks that the members have. They for example, my students, each time they pass a belt test, they get gear for the next level, for example, or something like that. So it's always something for something, and I'm very transparent about how much money it costs us to the upkeep, how much money it costs us to get the gear, or get some kind of equipment. So I'm trying always to be transparent about this, because I have experience with not very transparent system, where we didn't know how much what cost, and then we didn't pay much. We didn't pay, very, very much, or we didn't pay a lot of hidden payments, but we didn't know, why we pay, so much now. Why would we pay for this and that? So transparency is a key, and we should all strive to achieve it. We should all strive to achieve it in order to be transparent about what we know, how we teach, what we teach. I'm not putting anything that is not true on my webpage, and I'm not proclaiming about myself anything that's not true. If I tell you that I've never been in a professional or amateur fight in a controlled manner, it's true. I never fought. I never competed. If I tell you that I've been in an altercation on the street, that's true. I have been, and I'm still here. If I tell you that we need to ramp up the payments because the upkeep, the rent went up, and I have no other way how to manage it right now, it's because we have something, and if you find me on a federation website, of international federation, then it's true, because I'm there. It's my photo, it's my name, it's everything is there, and I have my certification in hand and license in hand as well. So transparency is key. Try to look for it, and be present on training, especially if you have children participating in martial arts, because martial arts are dangerous. If they're taught well, if they're performed well, if the training is safe, if all of those things are aligned and upheld, it can be really fun. It is safe. I injured myself a couple of times, but it was because I was stupid most of the time, that rather than it was a deliberate injury caused by my instructor or someone else. So we should all strive for safety and transparency, and you should be able to trust the instructor, trust the schools, trust the institution that, yeah, sure, I'm willing to put my child into your care for the time being, for the hour or two of your training a week or something like that. So keep this in mind. My condolences to the family of the Taiwanese boy that I talked about in the beginning. It's a heartbreaking story. I will put the McDojo Life YouTube videos that cover this story, as well as the article link in the description. Please stay safe, be mindful where you and with whom you train. And see you next time, and thank you for listening to us. Thank you for your feedback. If you have any kind of other feedback, if you want to share with us your experience, you feel free to do so on our social media or through our email podcast@lifeontatami.sk. Thank you and have a nice day.